Welcome back, everyone. I am Zadian. This is Kerbal Space Program, the Redneck Space Program, and today, people, we're going to quit fucking around, and we're actually going to get our probe over to Duna. And we're going to be doing some stuff in between, which I'll be showing you here, and some stuff and some things, and some stuff and some things. Basically, we got back from Minmus the last episode with all that wonderful science, and we put it into our space station here. And what we're doing now is we're processing it, and as we're as we're getting closer and closer to Duna, we're just processing more and more materials. Well, obviously, we came back with a lot. I mean, a lot of data to be analyzed at the space station. So this is going to take some time to have all that analyzed and to get all that science. So instead of starting a new program and doing it while it analyzes science, this is going to take hundreds of days in order for all that information to process. We're just going to go ahead and fast forward time, and we're going to capitalize on the fact that we have a probe going to Duna, and we have a mission at Duna, two or three missions at Duna, and we also have all this science to process and go through, analyze, and turn into actual science. I just realized I'm not even recording my voice. Actually, it turns out I was recording my voice. I just couldn't see it. It was acting weird. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, so this is going to take a lot of time to process through all that science. We're going to capitalize on all that stuff that I just said. Yada, yada, yada. You get the point. So, this is just kind of multitasking in a smaller way than some... it's going to be something we're going to have to do eventually in Kerbal Space Program, which is multitask and bounce in between two programs that we've got running at the same time. As you can see right now, with the first data dump, we've got about 2,000 science. It's a lot. It is a lot of science that we're going to end up getting from the space station, and that's going to help further us in the tech tree. Obviously, or not obviously, but right now we're at the last line before we have to upgrade our science facilities in order to get to the last tier of things. So even though we've got a boatload of science sitting up there processing on the space station, we're not going to get all the way through this this line of the tech tree this go round, and we're not going to have enough funds to upgrade the research facility to get to the next tier anyways. So what's going to happen in between episodes is I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a lot of missions, stuff that we've already seen. Like there's a lot of stuff in the SETI that we've done that I just need to go out and do and get rewards for that stuff, which is like docking in lunar orbit, doing a flyby of the moon, doing a manned landing on the moon, and stuff like that. Stuff that we've already seen that I don't want to. We're 27 episodes in, and we're just now making it to Duna. So I'm not saying we're progressing slowly, but I don't want to rehash that stuff. There's no reason for us to go back to the moon and do a manned landing on the moon, just unless we're going around to the different biomes to get all the stuff. So I don't want to do that on camera right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a lot of these missions on the background. You're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss anything you haven't seen. You're not going to miss anything important in that that I'm not showing it, because if it is important and it's something that I do need to show, I will definitely show it. So here we are coming into our encounter with Duna. You see, we're still pretty good ways out, so we're just modifying our orbit, or where we're going to be coming in and stuff. I do use MechJeb here to help with certain things throughout this entire science mission. So we've got to go to a couple different orbits throughout all of this, and you see we got our encounter set up. So we're going to go look at our missions and do some other stuff before we actually encounter Duna. But anyways, what I was saying is I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry about that. Our temperature has gone from snow and ice on the ground to 60 degrees. So, sinuses, they're lovely. So we're going to do some other stuff before we actually get our counter is actually coming up over there, so we'll be switching back to that in just a second. See, I just kind of fast forwarded time. I like the view from the space center to the tracking center. It helps out a lot. So we're gonna circularize. I'm getting better at saying that word. We're gonna circularize our orbit, and I did set the timer up incorrectly. I thought we were coming in from from right to left. It turns out we were coming in from left to right. So I kind of boned that a little bit, but luckily we've still this thing has so much fuel. It is ridiculous the amount of fuel that we have on this satellite. We haven't even gotten done with the first stage. I think the first stage is getting ready to burn out here in just a second. But in the satellite, that's just the stage that we use to escape Kerbin's gravity influence. So we hadn't even gotten to the actual fuel that's on the satellite, and I'm glad we did have that fuel, because see, there we go, we just jettisoned that. You'll see here in a little bit why we're glad we had that fuel. But let's go over the missions that we're doing right now. We need to get science from high above Duna, space high above Duna, space low above Duna, and in high above Duna's surface. So one is high orbit, the other is low orbit, and the other one is in atmosphere. So we're actually going to go into Duna's atmosphere on this mission to complete one of the science, one of our missions that we got here at Duna. So, and we'll do them in roughly that order. We've already got, well, I haven't gotten it yet, but I made the mistake of lowering my orbit for some reason instead of keeping it high. And then here in just a second, I'm gonna, after I get it circularized, I'll end up actually saying oops and doing exactly what I'm doing right now with MechJev, and it's like, please raise my epilepsy to 500 kilometers, because I'm an idiot. And of course we had to do another donut around the planet, because I didn't realize until too late, and yada yada yada. It's not a big deal by any means, but it's just my own dumbassery, my own Alexander Dumas. Anyways, now that I'm done making up words, so we'll get our science high above, low above, and in atmosphere, and then we've got to also go to Duna's moon, which is Ike, and we've got to do some science around that as well. This one mission that we picked up that's currently on screen, it's a pretty huge mission. There's a lot of different little things to it. And we've also got position a satellite over in geosynchronous orbit above that little satellite you see on your screen right now on the surface of the moon. I'm pointing to it. I'm not on the moon, on the surface of Duna, and I'm using my fingers trying to point it out to you, but it's right there. You can see it. It's right above. So we're getting ready to go into the atmosphere here in just a minute to get our in-atmosphere experiment that we need to get. Obviously, we're just going to be scraping the top of the atmosphere. I do pull everything in just in case. I realize pulling in the satellite's probably a dumb idea. So go ahead and pop that thing back out. It's just going to have to survive. And we'll put the relay satellite down just for safekeeping. The truth of it is, though, is that Duna's atmosphere is so thin that it's not that big of a deal. You're not even going to see any atmospheric effects on our spacecraft while we're scraping through here. I was a little over precautious. I could have left the solar panels out. They would have been perfectly fine. I could have left all the antennas up and everything. They would have been perfectly fine. There was no reason for alarm on that. And we're just taking temperature scans and atmospheric scans, stuff that we're going to get 100% on when we return it. we'll transmit that. Actually, we're going to end up transmitting everything, now that I think about it. That was kind of a stupid statement. You know, someone who's actually good at this stuff will probably go back and edit that out, but not going to. Yeah, so we're scraping through right here, and then we're going to go start messing around with Ike. Or did we already? No, we haven't done that yet. So we got to mess around with Ike, and then we're going to go into geosynchronous orbit around Duna to complete the mission. I take that back. We've actually already we just had to we haven't collected the science around Ike, but I don't know if I show it or not. We do end up collecting science around Ike. It's not that bad. But I think the reason I cut it out is because the next part's pretty hysterical with going to geosynchronous orbit around Duna. And that's because it took so long. I had so many encounters with Ike that it's in one of those encounters that I do that to get the science from around there. So basically, I edited it out because I couldn't find it. So ignore that. Ignore what I said. But yeah. So we're gonna start pushing outwards towards getting into a more geosynchronous orbit around Duna. Which is kind of funny because where we be geosynchronous, where we will be in geosynchronous orbit above that one area that we have to be in Duna, we actually have several encounters with the moon, which was causing all these issues. You see the orange line right there. The white line is the orbit of Ike, and the blue line is ours. You see right here, we got another encounter with Ike. We constantly kept having encounters with Ike, and it kept throwing us off of our orbit, our geosynchronous orbit around the position it wanted us to be in. So I had to keep fudging it back and forth like you see me doing right here in order to either orbit around Duna faster to catch up to it, or orbit around Duna slower to let Duna actually pass where I was. And basically I'm just watching the mission to when it had the check mark, and I almost had it right there, but we're just a hair off. So we need to catch up on Duna. So we're gonna go in smaller to catch up, and then we're gonna come around and we're gonna nail it on this one. We just got to hold the orbit for about 10 seconds. Right there, that's perfect. And you can see how closely this goes with Ike. So that's why I lost that stuff, is because I had so many encounters with Ike that I just kept losing it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And as always, guys, leave comments down in the comment section below. You know I read them. You know I respond to them, even though it may take me a little bit longer nowadays to respond to them. I do. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time for more Kerbal Space Program. Oh, also, leave me feedback on my new series that I just started this week. And let me know how you liked Oxygen Not Included. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.